Hello, today in this video we're going to go over reading and writing to files in Python. So the objective will be to read file names from a CSV file and then write the contents of the files listed in that CSV and their names to another file. So I've already have files set up here that have data in them, and go ahead and look at those. So our CSV is comma separated vector, each value is separated by a comma and treated as a row and column. Then we have files here with values or possibly no values in them. So to get started, we will import the CSV module, and we'll go ahead and create an empty list to store files in, file names in. We'll say file list equals just empty there. Then let's open our CSV file for reading, and we know that our CSV file is csvfile.csv. So the way you open, you can use the with open, and so this allows, you don't have to worry about closing files or anything like that. Once the logic is done, it's kind of like a loop. Once it's done underneath this, it will automatically clean up the file handles for you. So we'll do csv file.csv, and we're going to open it with, we're just going to read it. We don't, that's what the R stands for. W is write, A is append, and there's a few other flags as well. We're going to name this handle to the file CSV file. Alright, we're going to say create CSV reader, say file names equals CSV.reader, reader, CSV file, and we're going to say the delimiter that we're going to look for the values between is comma. So you can specify others, you can put tabs, you can put any delimiter you want in there that your file might be delimited by. And then we can iterate over the CSV file row by row. Alright, so we'll use a for loop to iterate row by row. So we'll do for row in file names, and then we're going to iterate through each column in the row. So for each index in the range, the length of row, and then we'll do if the value is not already in the list, then we'll say if the row index. We'll get this will get the value where the row and the column intersect. It's not in the list, so I want to put duplicates in there. Then we'll say add the value to the list. We'll do file list dot append, and again we'll use that row and index. This is where those two intersect. We'll get the value where that row and column meet. Alright, so now we have the values in the list. Let's now open the output file, and if the output file doesn't exist, it will create it for writing. We'll use another with for this, so we'll do open. We can name this whatever we want, and by putting it, or just naming it, that means it'll put it where our script is executing. If you put a whole, you can put a whole path here if you wanted it to go into a different location. And we're going to say, well, we want to open it for writing. And we'll say the name of its output. Alright, and let's iterate over the file name list, and then we'll do a for loop. And so for each file in the file list, we'll do so then we'll do for each file we'll store the lines of the file in another list. We'll do lines equal open, we'll do file read lines. So that means it'll just read all the lines in the file. You could actually iterate and read line by line if you wanted to, but it's easier to just grab all of them. And we'll say, so now we're going to want to create a custom function here that will convert a list to a string. So we'll put our function at the top here, and we'll say function to convert a list of strings into one string. So we'll call it list to string. We're going to say, hey, you have to pass me the list so I know what to convert. Create an empty string, which will be what we're converting to. So we'll just call it string equals. And then we'll say, let's iterate over the list. And for each line in the list, because remember our list is just is each line in the file, we'll say append each line to the string. And then from there we'll do string plus equals line. So basically we're just going to append each line to the string until we're done going over each of the lines in the list. And then once we're done, we will return the final string. So return string. Alright, so now if we go back down here, we'll say call custom function to convert a list to a string. Alright, so we'll store the output of our function in a variable, and we'll just call it line string. So it's a list to string, and we want to pass our list of lines. We'll do make a file and its contents to the output. So we write out to the file. So our handle to our file is called output. We'll say dot write file plus, so that'll give us our file name. Separate that, the file name, from the values that are in it with a colon, and we'll say a line string. And put a new line afterwards, so there's a new line after each file. Alright, so I kind of walked through this here, went through a little fast, and I know there's a lot going on here. So in the second, when we're writing the output, we're going to loop over each file that's in the file list that we created up above from the CSV file. And then for each file that is in that list, we're going to open it, and we're going to say read all the lines from that file and store it in a list called lines. And then we're going to convert that list to one long string. So that way, if there's multiple lines, we can just print it out and not have to. It'll look more fluid and pleasing instead of printing out just a list which has the separators and all of that. And then we take that line string and we write it out to the file output. Alright, so let's run this and see what happens. Oh. Looky there. So no such file or directory csv.file.csv. Well, it's right here, but it's probably because this file. So it's a good example to show you here. So our file Python projects, main.py, the one that we're working in, at least that I'm working in, is not in the same directory as these other ones. So I will actually move those over there right quick, and then we can get on our way here. So alright, I've moved those files over, and we run it again. Alright, so you notice nothing came out to the output here. Well, it's because we didn't print anything in our program. So now we could have to kind of give feedback to us, or we can just go to the output file, and let's go ahead and open that. Actually, I'll just bring it over here. Alright, so we went through the secret.txt file, which says I replaced the ring with a gumball ring. And look, that's what we put here. Password.txt says, oh, password 123 exclamation point. Nothing here.txt. Oh, that's right, there's nothing there. Look over there.txt. I took the cookie from the cookie jar. Oh, there it is. Not secret.txt. Aliens are among us. And so if we look at not secret.txt, that's what's in there. So this is the output of our program, and we were able to look at this CSV file. We extracted the file names out of here. Then we went and iterated through each of these files, grabbed the contents, and then output into one file the name of the file and what was inside of it. So I hope you enjoyed doing this program, or at least watching me do it, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.